Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr.
I'm
Lacombe.
happy to learn. I love this class.
All right, so this is my group of military seniors. Let's go over first the pre-seminar process. So a Paideia seminar is a collaborative intellectual dialogue about a text, which you guys have received and read, facilitated with open-ended questions. The main purpose of seminar is to arrive at a fuller understanding of the textual ideas and values of ourselves and each other. I'm primarily responsible for asking challenging, open-ended questions, and I will take a variety of notes to keep up with the top turns and flow of ideas. I will help move the discussion along in a productive direction by asking follow-up questions based on my notes. So again, if I so choose, I will ask different questions than I may have written down. I'm asking you to think, listen, and speak candidly about your thoughts, reactions, and ideas. You can help each other do this by using each other's names. You do not need to raise your hand in order to speak. Rather, the discussion is collaborative in that you try to stay focused on the main speaker and wait your turn to talk. So again, as usual, try to wait until the person is done and then say the point that you would like to say. And again, if we have more than a few people who want to talk, try to make it even between maybe somebody who hasn't talked as much to you if you've talked a lot. You should try to both agree and disagree in a courteous, thoughtful manner. For example, you might say, I disagree with Joanna because, and so on, so on. Okay? Now, let's think about how we normally participate in a discussion as a group. Is there a goal that we can set for ourselves that will help the flow and meaning of this seminar? So what's a goal that we could all try to do during the seminar?
Respect each other's opinions.
Okay, respect each other's opinion. Does everybody think that's something we all can do?
Yes.
Great, excellent. Okay, so as normal, we will be starting with a round robin, which everyone needs to answer, okay? And we go one way to start, and then the ending round robin will go the other way, okay? So, this is an article from Time Magazine, and it's about ethics. The beginning round robin question is ethics improving, or is it the word disintegrating? Thank you, or something in America, current
society.
Okay, in American society. So is ethics improving, or is it disintegrating or going down in U.S. society?
So I go. Do we have to explain why?
No, not yet. And then when we're done.
Disintegrating. Disintegrating.
Disintegrate.
Okay.
Basically gone.
Okay. So anybody want to explain why they picked that answer? I'm surprised actually it was so lopsided.
I would say it's both because in the past we had a lot of things that weren't ethical that we're getting away from. So we're getting better. At the same time, as we increase certain sections of morals, we also lose other parts.
Yeah, so what's an example of what we did worse in the past than we are doing now?
Okay, inequality, racial inequality. Now we have equality there, but something bad now would be we have a new target, so now they're focusing more on Hispanics, and that's where we decrease.
Anybody else?
Social media has a lot to do with our ethics in society. That's what I believe. I feel like major influence on people would be like if they do something good, they'll like try to show it, tell like that self actualization. Yeah, but yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, one reason why I believe it's like not good anymore is because a lot of people get jobs by knowing people in that job. So if you know someone in that job, you're obviously gonna get the job, even if like maybe you're not qualified or something. So that's one of the ways it's just.
I also feel that today a lot of people are feeling self-centered. Perfect example is the selfie. People taking pictures of themselves in mirrors or by themselves and posting it. I mean, I don't have Instagram or Snapchat, but I'm sure it's there. That just photos of people just, doing this or this or this, in front of the mirror or something. I feel like that's a way they're expressing like they're self-centered, and they're not taking pictures of, what's important or what used to be important to people like family, pets, jobs, occupation, stuff like that.
I just want to bring up when they say disintegrating, that's like getting away from, and like some things they're still there. So just because I know a lot of people said disintegrating, but they're bringing up topics that are the same, like job example. That's something I feel that's been here since jobs were like at the beginning. It's not something that's disintegrating because it stayed the same.
I feel like it's getting worse though, because people take jobs nowadays to heart. So instead of taking it to like, oh, your work, that's how you should be treated, they take it to, oh, you're gonna be treated if I like you, if I don't like you,
Yeah,
things like that.
and along with what she said, there's like, you can get like, a lot of people get better connections, like if you know someone that works somewhere and like they're hiring, they'll be like, oh, can you put in a good word for me? So they like talk up to their boss about that person, which kind of like disregards like the qualifications of other people that like can qualify better.
So it sounds like you're saying the workplace is becoming less professional.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like they're losing their ethics on like following like procedures by looking at like the qualifications rather than like just choosing them by who knows who.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. That's how I got my job, lifeguarding at Red Rock Country Club. Too, so.
Yeah, it's more of like, oh, if I like you, you'll get it. It's not like, oh, if you're qualified. Yeah. And I can see why people say both because that's not in all workplaces. So.
I feel like that's only with like part-time jobs. I don't know, like I don't hear that like with something professional. I feel like that's just something that we do as youngsters, Cause I'm pretty sure
It's actually all works in life is like, especially in the hotel business, like you can't get a job without works. That's how my mom got her job, that's how my brother got his job.
That's why my mom got her job. I know this.
His entire
It's the only
family's
reason I got the job here.
Because
Because I knew the principal.
yeah. But I feel like we're like in a job place like where they have like requirements that I don't think that would happen. You know what I'm saying? Because there's places where you need like a certain requirements to like do it, and that's where I feel like they'll actually follow like their ethics to like hire that person.
But even with the requirements, to say there's two people, they're both required and they both have like experience in that job place. Who do you think's gonna get it? The one that knows the manager or the guy that's applying that doesn't know anyone?
I mean, obviously the guy that knows.
The guy that knows the manager because that's how they find these connections and that's how they get these jobs.
All right, so let me just by a show of hands, if you agree with this statement. Is there widespread sense of moral disarray in this country? Yes or no?
Disarray.
Can you
like-
further?
Let me say.
Question.
Okay, so is there widespread sense of moral disarray? Basically means we do not follow morals in this country.
So we don't?
It's like
we
it's
don't.
spreading out, right? Like
So most of you, okay. Now, look at the fourth paragraph down, okay? After that first sentence it says, more than 90% of the respondents agreed that morals have fallen because parents failed to take responsibility for their children or to imbue them with decent moral standards. 76% saw a lack of ethics in businessmen as contributing to the tumbling moral standards, and 74% decried failure by political leaders to set a good example. Now, those are three big ones. Is there anyone else to blame?
The person himself.
Society,
Okay.
the people that you're around, because yeah, the parents sometimes are like a person to blame, but your parents could be giving you the best morals that you can have, and then like, you know, we get peer pressured a lot, so I think that's one of the reasons why morals are just like out there.
I say man themselves, because you have your own mind, so you can think by yourself. Like, you know, you can make decisions on your own. So you keeping your morals or using your morals is on you. Like, so people just choose not to. So it's like man himself.
Expanding what he said, it is on the person because we're giving all these different outlets and all these different ideas that we have the option to choose a different route. So how we behave is solely on the individual.
And with what Lisa was saying about society, it's like because social media is such a big thing now these days, like when people are on social media, they see one thing, they're like, oh, I want to be like this person, follow that person. So even if the person that's posting doesn't have like good morals or ethics, that's what they kind of fall into.
Yeah, I agree with that. A huge part of where people are getting their sense of morals is through social media and popular culture. Like an example, like while lifeguarding, I can't count how many times I see kids like doing this weird dance thing. I literally don't know what it's called, but like I guess that's what they're getting it from like social media and pop culture.
That's cool stuff.
So that's what they look up to. And so along with the way they dance, call that dancing, they also get their morals from that as well.
I want to add on to what Tyra said about, influencers. I think that that's also why, like, some morals and ethics are deteriorating is because some people become famous and some people look up to people that don't have good ethics. Like, we've seen, like, people who do stuff wrong. Like, for example, they'll make racial comments or they'll post something that, makes a certain group of people look like they're a joke or something like that. And so when there's backlash on that, there's also a group of people, and especially if it's a younger audience, where they're so impressionable that they're willing to stand up for this person and say, oh no, it's fine, when in reality what they did was extremely wrong.
Because we're young at this age and we're learning a lot, so I think at this age we're seeing like different types of morals, and we go with the one that we like the most, in a way.
Is it that you like or is more convenient?
Both.
Yeah, both.
Both, yeah, both.
I feel like just knowing who you also idolize is like has a major influence for you. Cause like just knowing like who you look up to and what they're doing, that's gonna influence what you do and who you are.
Going along with what he said, there are like instances where like kids watch YouTube. There's a lot of things on here where like even people that like seem like kid friendly. Example, Logan Paul, and then like this whole scandal where he showed this body in like a suicide forest and like videotaped it and all that stuff. Or like Demi Lovato, she was like the Disney child star, and like now she's over here like
Cracking.
overdosing, and like she did come out with an apology, but it's just like kids are gonna be looking up to you if they've been watching you their whole childhood and seeing that and going through that. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, so if that's okay, or if she ended up alive and she's gonna find like better things, like maybe like I don't know. It's just like that. It also influences.
Like little kids nowadays, like they're just like always on YouTube, like bro.
Right, my little brother is like always asking for the iPad. I didn't have an iPad when I was little.
Like
I would just run around.
like I feel like just like the amount of access to stuff that we have can also influence like what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Technology.
It's like back then. I was 10 years old when I got an iPod. My little brother's like 5. He already has an iPad. Just like the amount, like the access of like the amount of of limitation that we have to things can also like ruin